Hi everyone,
Hello.
it's Cliff and Dinah from New Energy Work. Welcome to
Again.
this webinar. Just like to say hi from both of us, and why don't you just say hi in the chat, just tell us who you are and where you're from, and you can get an idea of who else is on this webinar.
They're flocking in.
They're flocking in. We've got people again from all over the world.
Lovely.
Fantastic. Okay, we've got...
Just to let you know, people, if I look a bit weird and strange, it's because I'm busy dealing with the chat.
Yeah, Dinah's going to look after the chat as we go and just see if there's any questions coming up. Okay, we've got a really intensive hour ahead, so let's crack on. I'm going to put the slides up. If it lets me. Come on, baby, come on. Can you put the slides up, Dinah, from where you are? Oh, no, it's okay. It's just a bit slow. Here we go. It's just a bit slow today. I think there's a lot of people giving webinars. Okay, so here we go. It's dreaded COVID-19 support. We're soon going to drop all that virus stuff because we're looking to the future, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end of this webinar. Okay, so here we go. We're going to look at 5 different things for you. We're going to look at our role as Shiatsu practitioners, because this webinar is for you as Shiatsu therapists. We're going to find out what your situation is, going to see whether you're stressed, how you're doing, and stuff like that. We're going to give you some actual information on how the immune system works with TCM. And in actual fact, that's become a protocol now for some of our distant Shiatsu work. And I'll explain how that's going. I've been doing them since last week, and I've been doing 3 a day. I did 3 today, and I'm getting used to using that protocol. So I'll share that with you. We're going to show you the tech, the tools, how to move your Shiatsu practice online. And then we're going to tell you a little bit about our plans for future support. Okay, so just keep saying hi in the chat, and we'll carry on with the polls. Okay, so first of all, before we do the polls, we really feel that it's really important that Shiatsu therapists get out there and help their clients and their community. Don't just go, oh, I do touch therapy, I can't do anything, I'm just going to, because in crisis, people look to guidance from their healers, and that's our role. Okay, we've got a huge amount of resources. We've got physical exercises, emotional understanding. We've got whole TCM concepts, and we've got the whole spiritual aspect of Shiatsu that's very important that we can use to support ourselves and our clients. Okay, so now we're going to find out about your needs and your situation, and we're going to do it with some polls. And first of all, let's just get right down to nitty gritty. How seriously are you affected by the situation right now? Let's just see. Okay, so let's just see how it's really hitting you. It's going to hit you soon, and because that's going to be a very big motivation to make sure we can get your Shiatsu out there. Okay. So just pop your answer in the polls, and it looks like we've got 58%. We've got over half of you who are very seriously or seriously affected by the situation. That's hardly surprising, because many of you I know, like us, get all or most of their income from doing Shiatsu treatments. So obviously we're going to have to do something about that. Okay, so I'm just going to go back into the chat here, and let's go to the second. The second one, which is more of a personal thing. We'd like to know how you're actually doing. I'm just sort myself out here. Personally, how are you coping? Let's just share that poll. It's a little bit slow today. I think lots of people are giving webinars. So personally, how are you coping? Let's just see. Wow. Actually, that's a different profile from what we had about a week ago. I think people are beginning to kick in with their personal practice, and they're starting to calm down, because when we did the same poll about a week ago, we were getting well over half of you were stressed or very stressed, and it looks like you're really starting to get to grips with things now. Look,
that's great.
The majority of you are neutral, okay, or coping well, and in actual fact, that's really good to see. And hopefully, what we're hoping is by the end of this webinar, you're going to be even more feeling that you can cope. Right, so now let's have a look at the actual kind of what we're going to do in the webinar, which is how confident are you at supporting your clients online? And that's kind of like taking your practice onto online, your Shiatsu practice online. Let's just see how confident you are in doing that. Okay.
I'm confident gets in there twice. So you need to do the sums differently, Cliff.
Oh dear. I should. That should have been very confident, that last one.
Right.
Oh dear. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, we can just add it all up. It looks like basically only about a third of you are neutral or confident. Yeah. So most of you, the biggest one by far is unconfident. So we're going to hopefully change that, and we're going to give you another poll at the end and see how successful we've been at giving you that confidence. So let's go with that. Right. Okay. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to go right into the TCM, and we're going to give you an experience and an experiential experience, and also lots of ideas about how you can work with your clients. So we're going to look at how the immune system works in TCM. And the reason for that is because we found that our clients are asking for information, how to reduce stress, how to understand the Wei Qi, the defensive Qi.
Can I just ask something, Cliff?
Yeah.
So Do can hear me, but she can't hear you.
Well, I think it must be a local connection, because can you hear me, Dinah?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, so it must just be a local
but
connection.
It's funny that you can hear me all right.
Yeah, no, it just must be a local bandwidth connection. You can just, I would just, if you do have problems, technical problems, restart your browser, make sure you're using a supported browser like Chrome, and that will help it.
So Laura, Pascal's got an echo. I've got an echo when I speak.
Okay, I'm going to turn you down then. I'm going to turn you right down. Yeah. Let's see if we can get that echo down. Is that better?
Hello, calling Dinah. It's a little bit.
Yeah, that's better, isn't it?
It's a little bit echoey.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an experience. It's not all about the lungs. The lungs are important, but we're going to do an energy exercise, and you're going to need a piece of paper, people. So you may have done this exercise before, but we'll do it again. You need a piece of paper divided into 3 like this. Woohoo. So you've got 3 areas. You've got the lower burner, the middle burner, and
I'll get my paper.
Yeah, get your paper. Okay. Like that. Okay. Another thing, Diana, is if you turn your volume down so that it's not going into your computer and then out again, that might also help.
Better, people?
Yeah? Yeah, if you're having any problems at all, then, yeah, that's better. Apparently the echo is much better now. Okay. So that's great, because we're not getting it through. You might still get a bit of an echo, but anyway, that's pretty good.
You said Chrome is better, or?
Chrome or Firefox are the best browsers. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You can, if you get nearer to your router, or use an Ethernet cable and stuff like that, it will help. But it could just be local connection. Okay, so let's do this exercise. So I'm going to follow the exercise, and we're going to draw our energy of our 3 heaters. And I've been using this protocol with I've used this protocol with most of my my Shiatsu supervision sessions online, so it's a useful one to have. Okay, so let's just try it. We're going to close our eyes. Okay, just going to relax. And we're going to tune into our lower dantian. So that's obviously below the navel and into the lower back. And I just want you to just experience, what is your lower dantian like? If you had to turn it into an image, what would it be like? And if you can think of some words to describe your lower dantian. Okay, so then we're going to, when you're ready, open your eyes and then do some drawing and write some words in the lower box. Yep. Everyone okay? Yep. Ready for the next burner? So now we're going to close our eyes again. Great. Okay, we're just going to close our eyes and go up to the middle burner. Well, that's around below the diaphragm and above the navel. So it's this whole, I can show you if I can go back a bit. Okay, so obviously the lower burner is here and the middle burner is like here, around here and right through into the back. Okay, so I love the emojis, great. Okay, so we're going to close our eyes. We're going to tune into the middle burner. That's the stomach and the liver and that whole middle burner area. And ask ourselves a question: what is it like? If you had to draw a picture, what would it be like? Any words you'd like to describe that feeling? Okay, and then when you're ready, you've got a feel for it. You can maybe compare it with the lower burner. We open our eyes and we draw an energy picture of our middle burner. When you hear that kind of noise, you know there's trouble. Okay, right, great. So should we go up to the upper burner now? Yay, okay. Look, we've got some amazing descriptions of the middle burners. People have definitely got quite a very dramatic descriptions of the middle burner. So now we're going to go into the upper burner, the lungs and the heart. Okay, ooh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to just relax and tune into the upper burner. Okay, and just see what that feels like. What's it like? Okay, and then when you're ready, open your eyes and draw or write in the upper burner in comparison to the middle and lower burners. There's some amazing descriptions coming in there. It's pretty awesome. Okay, I'll show you mine. You can see that. Actually, do you know what? I was rather surprised because my lower burner was actually quite calm and quite strong. My middle burner was definitely a bit too churny and a bit too tight. And the thing that worried me a little bit as well was my upper burner had quite a lot of heat in it. I felt kind of hot in the lungs, and that's not a good thing. So I definitely need to chill out a bit and take a bit of a break. How about you, Dinah?
Yes, very interesting. So different than last time. I don't know if you can see. So try and get it how you can see.
Yeah, I can see that. That's it. That's great. Yeah.
Okay, so the lower burner for me, last time it was all very roundy. Here it was kind of wavy.
Yeah.
A deep feeling. And then middle burner, kind of tighter at the front. And, and a bright yellowy and squiggly. And then I was very aware of my heart in the upper burner.
All right.
Kind of clouds behind it.
Right. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. It felt big and active.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's really interesting. It's interesting to see how it changes, isn't it, from day to day? Okay. So this is, according to Chinese medicine, this is what I should have looked like. You really want the lower burner to be relaxed and strong, which actually I felt was pretty good with me. My middle burners definitely could be more flexible and flowing. It's definitely a bit obstructed.
Yeah,
the upper burner is like a mist. It's supposed to be cool, actually, open and relaxed, and also cool. And so I'm a bit worried about that heat there. I'm going to have to just chill out a bit. So the reason we did this exercise was because this gives you an idea. We're just going to the theory now of how the immune system works according to Chinese medicine. But from a practical point of view, this protocol of tuning in, I've been doing this all day this afternoon and yesterday afternoon. I've been using it with my clients as a way of structuring the online Shiatsu sessions. Okay, so let's just do a little bit of theory here. The lower burner, I'm sure you're aware, is the foundation of yin and yang of the body. It stores the jing. So you really want that area to be as strong as possible. The kidney yang, which is the yang part of the kidney energy, is like a pilot light, and that helps light the spleen and it helps the digestion. And also very important for any type of respiratory issues, the kidneys grasp the key of the lungs. So the kidney and the lower burner is really important. It's really the foundation of everything. And we can see from the statistics that, of course, the elderly are most at risk from this disease. And the reason from that, one of the reasons in terms of TCM, is because the jing depletes with age and the kidney key tends to deplete, which means that the immune system will be, and the general energy will be not quite so strong as you get older. You can see that in the graph there. Okay, so we move up to the spleen and stomach area and the liver area. We've got the middle burner here. The stomach's like a cooking pot. The spleen yang is like a fire, and that transforms the food and drink into ki. Don't forget the kidneys are required, though, to keep that energy going by lighting the spleen energy. Yep.
Zoe says, can you mail the handouts again? I think that they're downloadable, aren't they?
What these? Yeah.
Yes,
what
slides.
I'll do is I'll put these slides onto the website. That's the easiest thing. If you go to newenergywork.com and you go to the top, there's a thing that says COVID-19, and that's where we're putting all the PDFs, all the links to the videos and everything. So there's one place you can find them. Okay. That's because I know it's very confusing sometimes to try and find stuff, but we're putting it all up there. Okay. Okay. Right. So this is very interesting as well, because as you probably know, the vast majority of people only have mild cases, 14% severe cases. So the question obviously that we want to ask is, what can we do to make sure that we and our clients are, if we do get the disease, are in that mild case thing? And the answer is to build up the Wei Qi, or the immune system. The middle burner is all to do with transforming food. So diet, obviously researching immune system boosting foods is something that we can do. One of the things we can also do, because we know that worry affects the spleen, is encourage our clients to eat in a calm, positive atmosphere. Turn off the news, turn off your phone, and just sit and relax and eat your food. And that's probably one of the simplest and most profound things we can do to increase our immunity, irrespective of the food, is just relax and get away from that worry that affects the spleen. Okay, and finally we come to the lungs, the upper burner, bringing the qi in from the air. That forms the qi of the chest, descends the qi and fluids. That's very important with any respiratory illness, and the kidneys grasp the qi. So we've got the kidneys grasping that energy down. Okay, and then if we put it all together,
people are saying how hard it is to rest and eat, and Barbara, who's a nurse, never gets to eat calmly.
No, exactly. Yeah, and I tell you what, our team, our new energy work team, I mean, we've just actually put in a protocol just today about restricting our working hours, because as you can imagine, because we've got a lot of expertise on e-learning, and you can imagine we've just been absolutely inundated with requests for help from the World Shiatsu community. And we were all of us starting to get towards burnout even 1 or 2 days ago. So we're having to do that. We're having to really put strict limits on the amount of work we do each day, because we're looking, you know, obviously to the long term. And that's one of the things we're trying to do, keep meal times relaxed, make sure we're exercising, bringing in the qi from the lungs, make sure we rest to regenerate the kidneys. It's all very simple, but it's absolutely essential. Okay. So basically in TCM, the kidneys support the spleen, and the lungs bring the qi from the air. And those three things work together to produce the wei qi, which is the defensive qi that protects the body. Okay. So what does that mean? What kind of things can we do with our clients? Well, if they scan their heaters and you find that they're weak in the lower heater, then obvious recommendations are sleep, qigong, reducing stress so that they can rest. If you get blockage in the middle burner,
and lower abdominal breathing.
Lower abdominal breathing, absolutely. Yeah, I've got audio for that.
Yeah,
I've got an audio, an MP3 file of lower abdominal breathing that I actually send to my clients. I've sent several out in the last couple of days. Email it to them. That's really worth doing. In fact, I can put that on the website if you like, and you can have a listen.
That would be great, Cliff, because it's such a perfect recommendation. And I always ask my clients to do it for 5 minutes in bed before they go to sleep and when they wake up. So
I did that. Yeah, absolutely right. And also, of course, we know from the whole the whole nervous system, we know that can be regulated by the breath. So in other words, the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. So if people are getting really kind of freaking out and stuff and getting into a stress state, the simplest way to recommend that they readjust that is to increase the exhalation, because the inhalation is related to the sympathetic nervous system, and the exhalation is related to the parasympathetic. So typically your clients will be doing this. That's like a stress breathing pattern, and that just sends messages to the brain to keep to kind of go into fight and flight. And if you get them to breathe into the lower hara and exhale slowly, that immediately affects the nervous system. It's the best way to regulate your own nervous system.
And
okay, so we can
points out it's also really good for insomnia.
Absolutely, yes, because it basically, in Chinese medicine terms, it tonifies the yin, doesn't it? Kidney yin.
It strengthens the kidney. And Shudaba saying 3 people she spoke to yesterday said they couldn't breathe.
Yeah, that's it. I'm afraid there's going to be more and more of that. And so, that's it. And the lung qi, qigong exercises, doing, stretches, and things like that. I've been giving a lot of that advice out recently. Yeah, pause after the out breath before the in breath. Right on. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if you want more information, we've got the stress and trauma online course. If you want to know more about about how the body operates under stress, and I would recommend you look into that. And also we've got the TCM and Shiatsu online course. We're going to put both of those into the free membership, but there's going to be more announcements about the whole membership package later on, very, very soon. We're basically putting more and more stuff in the free section there. So it's for you, whether you can, enroll or not. Okay, so now we get to the nitty gritty. We've got half an hour.
Let's just share this. Sally's got a really interesting thing to say. Taste and smell going, one of the first signs of COVID. How's it explained from TCM?
Obstruction of the lung channel.
That's what I'm thinking. And also spleen.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it would be. Yeah. Okay. So before we go on, because we've done a lot already, we've only got half an hour left. Just want to see whether you're okay. So if you go down to type your message down there and hit the emoji button, you'll find a little thumbs up. So let's see a few thumbs up. If you're not feeling it's too fast for you, if it's too fast for you, say this, but if we can just keep going, if everyone's okay about keeping going. Yeah, you can give me a round of applause. Okay, looks like everyone's pretty much on it. So we've got half an hour. That's great.
Yeah, that happened so fast that you might have missed that MERS, I don't know how you say it, MERS, shared some music, especially to strengthen the immune system.
Wow, that's terrific.
If you scroll back through the thumbs, people, you'll find a link that she sent.
Okay, well, if we can get that link, if you can send that link to us, then we'll put that up on our resources online. That would be cool. That would be so cool. We'll put that up as a resource. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so now we get to the nitty-gritty of tonight's webinar, which is how to move your Shiatsu practice online. Okay, first of all, we're going to look at making sure that you realize it absolutely is possible. We're going to look at how basic the tech is for you to do that. We're going to look at two different methods that we've successfully deployed in the Shiatsu Center. We've got self-Shiatsu supervision sessions, that's what we call them, all the S's, SSSS. And we've got distant Shiatsu healing, which we're also doing. That's my favorite. And then the third thing that we're doing, in fact, tomorrow, we've got the first one, is we've got a Shiatsu support group, and that's a group thing, not an individual section. And also we've been working on the whole payment thing. Yes, Dinah?
Zoe says that Mindfulness Association has an excellent place for resources with meditation and breathing and body scanning. So check that out, people. The Mindfulness Association, I guess, just Google.
Yeah, cool. Okay. And Mercy says, how can we make distant Shiatsu healing? Just wait 1 minute. We're getting there. It's right there. Just hang on. Okay, so here we go. Right. Okay. First of all, I just want to really emphasize that it's totally possible to do. Okay. We're doing online sessions successfully right now in the Shiatsu Center. And in fact, at the moment, I'm having to limit them because I'm doing so much work supporting the worldwide Shiatsu community with the team, getting teaching online. I'm having to restrict them. And what we're doing is we're only identifying clients that are in extreme need. You can definitely do it. It's totally possible. And you can make your own creativity to make your own offering that feels authentic and feels good for you. So here we go. We'll show you the ideas that we have, and then you can see what you want to do yourself. Okay. Now the tech you need is totally basic. All you need is a phone, and that's all you need. You can do it all over voice. And I did that today because I had one of my clients. I had one of my clients in the countryside, really bad internet signal, tried WhatsApp video calling and just broke up. So we just went straight and did the whole thing on a voice call. It was absolutely fine. No problem at all. Also, I found that a lot of my women clients, and I don't want to be sexist about this, but they always worry about the video call because they haven't washed their hair. They don't think they look good in the light and stuff like that. It's probably going to be the same with guys, but so far that's the main problem I've had with the video calls. They're not sure that the makeup's right. So all you need is a phone. If you want to be really like Sophis, really good, then you can use a phone or tablet or laptop or whatever, and you can do video chats. I mean, I'm sure you've probably done, it was sexist. That was totally sexist. I don't know why I said that. It's because I haven't done it yet with the guy, but the guys are going to be the same. Especially I've got problems because I can't have my hair cut every week now. This is a real problem for me. I've actually had to buy some clippers. They came yesterday. I'm going to have to do my own hair every week. Very important for my well-being. Okay.
Your hair is gorgeous, they say.
Okay. So anyway, I'm sure maybe you haven't, but almost everyone by now has done a video chat of one sort or another, WhatsApp or Google Hangouts or Skype or FaceTime. Take your pick. All right, whatever. Different clients will want different
things. He uses
yeah?
Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, there's all those different things out there. I mean, there's just totally, yeah. Online hair cutting tutorials. That's what I said to my barber. I said that they should do that. Thank you very much.
You to get a mullet.
Yeah. My hairdresser texted me, said he thinks he's going to go back to the 70s. He's going to, everyone's going to. Okay, right. Sorry, let's keep serious. Let's keep on this, right? Okay, so you don't need any fancy tech, right? You just need a phone and that's it, all right? Now, we've got two main ways that we work with our clients. I'd like to share some of the experiences I've had over the last few days. This is kind of new to me. I hadn't done this before until last week. This is self-shiatsu supervision. We started off calling it shiatsu counseling. We didn't really like that. It's kind of counseling now. And then we thought of different words and we came up with self-shiatsu supervision because it means that they are doing the shiatsu on themselves or whatever they're doing. And we're supervising them and we're giving them, help and support. Okay. What we're doing is we're using a video or a phone link. We can use whatever computer. I did one on my phone. It's not important. We give a 1 hour session, but we allow 75 minutes. And I'll talk about that in a minute. It is highly structured, although of course it depends on the client. Depends on some clients like to talk a lot. Some like to get straight into it, whatever. But we have a structure and that structure is based on a shiatsu session. Okay. So what we do is we do a diagnosis, basically a treatment, and then an assessment, and then we do the recommendations. So, of course, already as shiatsu practitioners that setsu shin, in other words, touching diagnosis, is only one of the 4 shins. I mean, it's only one of them. We can listen to their voice. We can see visual diagnosis, their posture, the way they come over. We can use clean questions if you know how to do that, or just ask them, how are they? How are you doing? That's one of the most important things that I've found doing it is people just want to just say whether they're freaking out, whether they're okay, whether they've got food, whatever. So first of all, we just need the diagnosis, okay? One of the main methods of diagnosis that I use a protocol. I use, clean questions is a whole kind of thing on itself. It's a way of asking questions a certain way. Nick Pohl, we're going to be giving you some help on that later on, but just use whatever questioning system that you're used to. What I use as a protocol with all my self-shiatsu supervisions is I use exactly that exercise that we just did with the 3 burners, okay? So what I do is I get my clients to close their eyes, I get them to tune into the 3 burners, and it's quite surprising sometimes when they go through, they give you a lot of information, okay? So once you've got an idea of which burners need work, okay, then you can go straight into the treatment mode. And I've done some very different treatment mode. This afternoon, I taught one of my clients who has heart palpitations at night, and she's anxious about that. That's a pre-existing symptom that's being made worse by the crisis. Okay, and I taught her breathing technique, breathing into the hara, breathing into the heart area and connecting them up together, which I know is a really good way of controlling palpitations. I spent maybe 10-15 minutes coaching her on that, and then after the call I actually recorded on my laptop. You could do it on your phone. I just recorded an audio for her talking her through it, just in case she needs to play something at home. So that's just a useful qigong thing. Other things I've done is I've done stretches, makaho exercises, yoga, anything that you know how to do that you think will fit the client and fit the burner. Lower abdominal breathing for the lower burner, maybe doing on the stomach channel, maybe twisting for the liver, breathing exercises for the upper burner, opening up the heart protector, opening up the heart. I'm sure you've got hundreds of different things that you can use. So that's the treatment part of the session. So diagnosis, maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, getting to know them, getting to know where they're at, getting them to do guided visualizations. And I get them to do the stretches with me. Yeah, sure, absolutely. So basically I get up, I show you what I do. I get up here like this. You need a bit of room behind your webcam. So you can get up so that they can see you like this, and then I will take them through the whole exercise. Okay, Qigong exercise. And then very important, I'll look and see that they're doing it right, and I'll give them corrections, make sure they're doing it absolutely right. That's a very important part of the whole one-to-one supervision thing. Okay, and then if there's time, a good idea, when you've done a session, you might have worked for say 20 minutes, just get them to check in again and notice if there's any changes in their burners, because then they realize that they've actually had a kind of session structure, which is diagnosis, some kind of treatment or exercise program, and then assessment. Okay, and then what I do then, I try and finish the session off within an hour, because I allow 15 minutes before the next session to send them an email. And what I'll have to do is I'll have to somehow show you, well, I know how I'm going to do it. I'll tell you later. But yeah, I can show you some examples of that. The typical email will be a summary of the session, which I'll get from notes that I've written, summarize what happens to remind them. I'll then write down the exercises, and do you know what? Most of the time I can find a YouTube video that has someone doing the exercise, especially yoga. There's so much YouTube video out there, Qigong as well. And what I'll do is I'll just bring in links for them and say, hey, look at this dude doing this exercise. This is the kind of thing you want to do. If you want to do bespoke stuff, you can record something on your phone, send it them. It depends how creative, how much time you've got to do that. But the email is very important. And then on the email, it has summary of the sessions, recommendations, what to do, how often to do it, and then asks them to get back to you if they've got any questions and stuff like that. And I've had really good feedback from that method. Okay. That's a very good idea, Zoe. If you want to schedule it so you have a bit more time, I'm actually thinking of maybe reducing the actual active time down to maybe 45 minutes, 50 minutes to give myself a bit more time. So that's basically, I would come up with a structure, come up with a protocol, so that you're not kind of humming around going, oh, I don't know what to do. Just be very clear and tell your clients that's what's going to happen. Okay, we don't worry about the money thing. We're going to do that later. Okay, Ollie, it's okay about that. We'll do that later. Okay, so, right, yeah. So there we are, the follow-up email with YouTube, other links, summary of the session, recommendations, such as self-shiatsu, acupoints, Qigong, yoga, and all that stuff. Okay, so that's like cool.
Here's a technical question, Cliff, from Tina. Hi, Tina. If you use your phone, how do you get Apple and non-Apple phones to do video? On the computer, what video meeting program are you doing?
Well, you can use WhatsApp on the phone. WhatsApp works on everything. WhatsApp, right. Yeah. I've used FaceTime if it's an Apple thing. You can use Skype. That's on everything. Skype is universal. WhatsApp is universal. Just find out what they use. There's so many now. You're not really going to be having a problem.
Birgit wants to know: do you do a self-scan with your clients? Have you done that?
Yes. Yeah, you can do that kind of thing as well. Yeah, go through the whole body. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's good. Okay, cool. So we're on to the next. Is everyone happy about that? The self-shiatsu supervision thing. Are you okay to go on to the next thing? We've got 20 minutes left. Yeah, everything is cool. Okay. It works very well for clients who want practical things they can do themselves, who want to talk to you. And also the other thing that I didn't realize was you get to see their house. Oh, look, there's your garden. Oh, look at that plant. One of the ones I did this afternoon, 20 minutes of it was being shown around a garden because they've just moved in. Look, I'm going to put this greenhouse here. It was absolutely, absolutely, yeah, it was so funny. But of course, I don't ever see my clients' houses, so that's a bit of a bonus. Anyway, all right, Nathan, so let's get.
Watch out! You need to tell them to fix that feng shui.
No, I saw that. I thought it was really funny. That's why you're having so much problems with a middle burner. Oh dear. Okay, right. So now we come on to one of my favorite things, and it's quite funny, really, because shiatsu distance healing is something that I've actually been doing for 20 years. Anyone in Italy, by the way, anyone in Rome, I did a workshop there maybe 10 years ago now to the most advanced practitioners in that school. And it was basically on how to do distance sessions. Does anyone remember that if you were in Italy?
Yeah. Anyone there? Boston as well.
Oh, you taught you in Boston as well. Yes, I did. Absolutely.
And Michelin said it's her favorite.
Yeah. It's something, Gabriella remembers. That was such a great workshop. I love that. But anyway, it was based on the whole idea that what we're doing is beyond space and time anyway. So does it really matter whether you're in the room or not? Actually, no, you'll be surprised. Okay. Now, the reason I think that this Shiatsu distant healing works is, and why it's actually surprisingly popular and well known, not exactly well known, but something that people can accept, is because distant healing itself is a thing in itself. Like distance healing is a thing. And some trainings such as Reiki and many other systems have distant techniques as part of their protocols. It's just a normal thing. And if you think that Reiki masters have 3 weekends of training, can you imagine how much energy work facility you're going to have after 3 years? You're going to find it much easier than you think. I like doing it because it's very close to the face-to-face experience. It's much closer than doing the supervision sessions. And the client really feels that they're receiving a session. Okay. So Shiatsu distance healing is my preferred reason and preferred method. And I tell you another reason why I like doing it is because when I finish the session, I feel pretty much the same as when I've done a session on the mat. And that's important to me because probably like you, the reason you do Shiatsu is obviously you want to help people and all that. But the main thing is for us is that it makes us feel good to do a Shiatsu. So an hour of doing distant work makes me feel good. And I like that. Okay. So how much of your session is purely energetic? Okay. So what you're going to do when you do these distant sessions is you will find out how much of your actual Shiatsu session that you do is actually purely energetic. In other words, it exists outside of the three-dimensional space-time fabric of the person's body. And the more energetically you work, and a lot of you are working very energetically now, the more energetically you work, the less important it is that you're physically touching the person on the futon.
Couple of points, Cliff. So Elaine says she's doing distant Shiatsu and it's working really well. She uses hara diagnosis and treatment.
Yeah, sure.
And Tina learned from the Pauline's training, and she said she has to make sure she doesn't do too strong a session on weaker clients.
Absolutely, yeah. Just like normal body work, you have to use the same things, yeah.
And Shell says, do we have a whole hour with the energy healing?
That's a very good question, okay. Yeah. I found it very, very tiring in the beginning. Very, very tiring. So what I used to do, well, shall I tell you the whole thing? What I started off doing was I started off imagining they were lying on the mat, and I would actually like do it like this. I would actually have an imaginary person here. I would do the hara diagnosis like this, and I would actually work around like an imaginary person on the body like this. And that I found very tiring and completely unnecessary after a while. So then I just developed it. So by the time I did that workshop in Rome, what I do now is I imagine the person in front of me. I stand up in a Qigong position. I scan the body. I do the hara, and I can feel around the body like this. And then I can move more like this when I'm working. I found that if you are fully intensively focused, you won't be able to work for more than about 20 minutes before you're completely tired out. So what I do now is I do work for an hour. But what I do is I don't work intensively for 1 hour. I actually do an hour session, and I've got tons of them here because I've done loads of them. I'll give you, I'm going to obviously, I'll cover over the name so it's confidential, but this is a typical one that I did yesterday. And this is what I do. I get a piece of paper. I draw in the energy pattern at the beginning. I then log every 5 minutes through the session. Okay. And I track what's happening and if there's any significant changes. And then I draw a picture at the end and the hara at the end. So I've got a log. Now in those 5-minute sections, I'll probably be working intensively for maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Some of the time I'll be writing down, sometimes I'll just be relaxing. Very similar to when you're doing an actual session face-to-face or on the body, because when you think about it, you don't go the whole time, do you? A lot of the time you're palming, you're relaxing, you're doing some techniques, and it's really only a small amount of the time that you're putting your full intention in most of the time. So my advice is just, keep it chilled, keep focused, you're holding the space, but don't burn yourself out. That is my advice, but you'll have to, figure it out as you do it.
Got a few questions, Hickliff.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Emily, the answer is yes, you can get a replay later. Shudaba says she's seen it on the phone and just drops into the channel. She does it on the phone. Yeah. And it feels really similar to being there.
Okay, yeah.
Tina wants to know if she can have a copy of the notes you take. She loves the idea.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'd have to just I'll just take
Anonymize.
out the confidential bits, and you can see I'll take out the bits to make sure they're anonymous, sure, and I can show you some. Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And
yeah.
Andrea says, is the client on the other end of the video when you're doing this, or you're not video connected?
I don't, when I do these distant healing sessions, I don't video connect, no. I just talk to them, usually audio, sometimes I just text them, and I get them to lie down, and then I just do it, and they just relax, because I don't want them to have anything at all. I want them to just relax and experience it. The very interesting thing, though, for the client is that when they get my email, because what I do then is I take a photograph of the log. Straight after session, I take a photograph, I send that to them from my phone, and I send them an email of a summary of the session. And of course, it's quite amazing for them when they see that and they can match it to the experience that they had as the receiver. And I had the most dramatic one so far this afternoon, where I had a client, I was working all kinds of stuff. Halfway through, I felt this surge of energy going up her body. I thought she's having a liver release. I've documented it all. I sent it off to her, and you know what? She texted me back. She said, halfway through that session, I got this terrible headache, and then I cried. I said, look at the logs. I picked that up. I picked it up exactly the time that she had it. And of course, that's really good, because that gives confidence to the receiver that you've got this energy connection going on.
Okay, so someone is asking, they're all mad to see the notes, see some examples of your log.
Yeah, okay.
Layla's saying, do you move your body when you do it, or is it all with intention?
I like moving. You can do it all with intention. I did one once. I tell you, one of my dear friends was seriously ill back 10 years ago, and I was doing distant sessions, and I had them timed, and I did one from sitting on the metro in Athens when I was teaching, and beamed it back to the UK, and I did it all with intention. But for my own benefit, a typical session would look like this. I'd be like this. Imagine them in front of me like this, hara, scan, and then I would move around like this, doing stuff, maybe stuff like this, doing stuff, tonifying, holding, moving, writing notes, relaxing for a couple of minutes, going back, rescanning. I like to move about because it's good for me. And at the end of it, you feel like you've been doing Qigong for an hour. So it feels good.
Melinda says, is it safe to assume the client's lying down even though you're imagining them standing?
They can actually do whatever they want, but of course it's good. It's more likely that you see, one of the things I like to do is I get them to lie down and imagine they're in the shiatsu room.
Yes.
Because what you want to do is you want to trigger as much body memory of the sessions that they've had before by recreating it. So I get them to imagine the room, and that can make it stronger. So look.
And Panayota, no, the phones aren't on, and Ria, no, you're not talking during the session.
No. I don't talk at all. Just let them relax and let them because they're going to be working. You don't want them to be bringing it into cognitive mind. You want them to be tuning into their actual body, you know.
Hélène says, do you have to know the person, or can you do it on someone you've never seen?
You can do it on someone you've never seen, but if you do that, you need some kind of link. It's best if you've got a photograph or Yeah, a photograph is fine. You just need something that's a link with a person. Yeah. But obviously it's easier if you know them. And obviously if you've been treating them for 20 years, then you know them really well and you can just get them up like that. You know, you can get the information just right like that.
No, Franco, you're not on the phone. No.
No, you don't want to be on the phone. No. That's the other ones. That's the supervision ones where you're chatting. Daniela, okay, so there we are. I started off doing 3D sessions. Now I imagine the body. I do the hara, the scans, chakras. I work standing sometimes, or you can work crawling around. It's up to you. Just do whatever you think you like. But I would say be careful about getting too tired. Take mini breaks.
Daniela has a nice point. You can also bring the energy of a nature place that you're connected to into your sessions.
Yes, you can.
You can. I've got absolutely. A client whose way of relaxing is to walk in the woods. So I always picture her in the woods.
Yeah. And you know, another thing is if you've ever done any advanced like quantum shiatsu and you use modeling, you know, modeling where you model the movement in your body. I use that a lot when I'm doing etheric sessions or distance sessions. And that's really good for you as well, because you're always modeling, you know, what you're doing. So
Mara says, how do you cope with lack of information like the color of the face or breathing change?
I don't really worry about anything like that.
No, exactly.
You just feel the pure energy. You have to try it and you'll see what I mean. You'll be able to pick stuff up more than you ever imagined. You can pick it up. You just have to try it. If I was you, I'd try it on a friend. If you're not sure, try it on a friend first. Yeah. I might be giving it away now, but we're planning on putting together an online course soon that will train you up in the whole thing, because that's obviously going to be a big need now. Okay, so what?
Couple of other questions, Cliff, and very sorry, Colin. It's taken him 40 minutes to get onto the call, and says, "Have we got a lot of people logged?" And that it's 320. So yes, sorry about that, Colin.
We have, but there's 500 capacity, so he should be fine.
Be okay. But yeah. Alexandra says you talk at the beginning of the session or together on the phone beforehand.
Yes, you can do, but you don't have to. Sometimes I just text them.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do they know when it's over? Asked Cindy.
There's two ways of doing that. One, what I was doing was I was actually calling them up after an hour. Because I say I'm going to work for an hour, and then of course they time it. One of my clients actually could feel it finishing, even though she didn't have a clock. She could just tell it was feeling energetically it was finishing. But I don't do that now because I prefer to leave my clients to rest after the session. So what I say now is, look, receive the session. It'll be over in 1 hour. I'll do the emails and everything. Just relax for as long as you need to, make the most of it, and then contact me afterwards by text or something like that. So that's what I do. And then what I do is in that 15 minutes after they're resting, I do the email. I record it on paper, like I told you, like I showed you, like that. You can do it any way you want, really. And then I take a photo of this, I send it by email, or I text it or email it. Usually I do it straight from my phone. I take a photo and send it. And then if necessary, do a follow-up call or email. I mean, I usually do a follow-up email. I don't really have time within the session to do another phone call because by then I've got my next clients.
Here's an interesting question. Actually, I misunderstood the question, but Jane asked, what's the difference in sessions between synchronous and asynchronous? And I was thinking, oh, she's confused talking about teaching, but actually the client lying down and you doing your distance healing is usually synchronous. You say to them, okay, it's 3 o'clock.
But do you want to hear some really far out stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, I read this book. There is an actual book called Entangled Minds where I got all this stuff from. It's about remote sensing. And one of the remote sensing experiments showed that they had someone in a lead-lined room connected to someone outside, and the other person was looking at a mountain or looking at a sea or whatever. Anyway, what happened was the research showed that actually it didn't matter whether the person who was looking at the mountain did it before, after, or during the person was tuning in. So this might be a bit too much for you, but I actually developed a system back about 10 years ago where I would do a distance session for a particular person, and I would store it in the ether, in the cloud, as it were. and then they would download it whenever they wanted to. So they would just lie down and they would download that session. So you can do it like that if you want. But if I was you, I'd start off doing it synchronous, because you get direct feedback from the client on exactly what's yeah, I'll send you a link to the book. It's a fantastic book. It's really science. There we are. Look, Reiki, they're already doing it in Reiki. So there we are. You see, there's nothing new under the sun. Okay, so let's get on. Is everyone okay?
Someone today who'd just been downloading a treatment that Nicola had sent her.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
It is Monica. You're
really
right.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Rated.
Yeah, the future, the past. Okay, is everyone okay to get on to the last thing? We've only got 5 minutes left.
How did that happen?
I need to have those thumbs up. Yay. Okay, cool. Everyone's happy. Right, here we go. This is what we're going to do tomorrow. We thought, we want to support our clients. Actually, do you know what? We can't fit them all in for remote sessions because too many of them. So we're going to do, for clients who aren't in critical position, what we're going to do is we're going to do once a week. We're going to do an hourly video class, meet up. All the clients are going to meet up online. And you can use free tools like Zoom and Facebook Live or Instagram or whatever you've got or whatever you can afford. There's so many tools out there. Stream the class out into your community of clients and keep it as practical as you can. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing the class between 10 and 11 in Norwich. And I'm going to do pretty much what we've done tonight. I'm going to talk to my clients. I'm going to get them to tune into the 3 burners. I'm going to give them exercises, make sure they're okay, find out whether they're stressed, and basically look after them. Okay, so I would really do that. I think that's a cool thing. You can use YouTube to live stream. Yep, absolutely. Okay. Okay, money. Okay. Right. Okay, money. Right. You can take money over the airwaves, can't you? You can send them a PayPal link. You can do backs transfer. You can ask for donations. You can have a fee. It's up to you. Now, what I found is when I ask for donations, people say, well, how much? How much should I do? I say, well, most people are donating the same amount as they would normally pay for their session, but it's up to you to, depending on your situation. Okay. So everyone is in a really difficult situation, which means we've had to rethink the whole money thing. And we've decided that money is pre-virus. It's something that's just completely irrelevant now. The government is giving us money to live. Well, they hope self-employed are being left out so far, but they're going to have to give us money. They're just basically throwing money out there. They're basically creating a universal basic income. And if they don't do that soon, then they should do. And we're lobbying for that. So what we've done within our group, and you could do that for yourself, or you could do that within your small group or whatever. We are working positively towards a utopian idea, which is we're working cooperatively. We're detaching money from work entirely. So we're basically doing what's right for our own well-being. We're trying to control our work, not overwork. We're trying to keep it nice and cool, make sure we get out and exercise and do stuff with our families and everything if we're with them in the same house. So we're limiting our hours because we nearly burnt out. We're pooling all the donations into one pot, which links into the Shiatsu Center bank account. And then we're going to share the money out depending on what the need is. Okay. So we basically think money is bullshit. It's just there to make people work harder and think they're going to buy more stuff. When people come out the other side of the virus, they're going to realize, hey, wait a minute, I don't need to buy this stuff. I've got what I need. I can just kind of do kind things to people. Okay. And money is just not really a relevant thing. As long as the government can make sure that everyone eats and is housed, then the whole pressure of money is off. Okay. And that's why we are politically lobbying for a universal basic income, which, by the way, has nearly got passed in Switzerland, just failed by about that much. Okay. So it's not going to be long before that is gone. Okay. Money is bullshit. They made it up. They made it up to make people work hard and have a miserable life trying to buy more stuff. Okay. And we don't need it. Seriously. Ever since the gold standard went, it's just made up stuff. Have you ever wondered why we had 10 years of austerity and then suddenly, because there's a virus, they can give you 80% of your salary? How crazy is that? It's because money is just made up. Okay. Right, so let's just review. Our role is we have all these beautiful techniques. Okay, you might like physical palpation. I saw that in the chat. You may have spent all that time developing your physical palpation with movement shiatsu. I can just tell you that what you're doing is energy work, and you will be totally amazed at how much of that work translates to beyond space and time. And it will be a wonderful experience for you to do that, to realize how strong your work is outside the physical body. Okay. Understand about TCM and immunity. You want to find out more, come along to newenergywork.com and do a course for free on TCM. Carol is one of our featured teachers, and it's right there. Okay.
Brianna wants you to come to America and be president, Cliff.
Yeah, right. I can come virtually. You can do a video feed. Okay.
Everybody loves money is bullshit.
Yeah, money is bullshit. Yeah. TCM and immunity. Okay, we've done that. Self-shiatsu supervision. Okay, you've got a protocol there. You can offer that to your clients. Okay, donations, whatever. Yeah. Distance shiatsu healing. I love that work. It's very close to giving shiatsu face-to-face. I like it. One of my clients was so impressed. He said, it was so powerful. I don't think I'm going to come back in anymore. And it's less carbon, you know. Do you know what? I saw the sky today. I saw the sky for the first time in decades. I saw a perfectly blue sky with no aeroplane trails. Dolphins are swimming. Dolphins are swimming in Venice.
Yes.
More people are going to live because of the pollution drop than are going to die of the virus. The planet is fighting back. It's giving us a lesson. It's a rehearsal for climate change. And we need to listen, and we need to tell people to listen to Gaia, listen to the planet. It's giving us a great opportunity to just change our entire life. Okay. And share that with your community. Look after your community. Don't worry about the money. Just spread the love. Everything is going to be absolutely fine. Yep. Okay. Thank you for your support.
I can't keep up. There were a few questions in there, but mostly
okay, we've got to finish up, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say thank you for your support. Watch out for the emails, because soon we're going to make all our paid content free. I need to contact all the members and the paying people, because I want to know how we're going to look after them and make sure that those very special people who are basically heroes, those people that have supported us with money over the last 6 or 7 years, have made all this possible, and they've just been so beautiful, and we want to make sure we look after them. But we are going to make all of our content free very, very soon. Okay. And we're going to go completely over to donations. We know that everyone's stressed with money. Money's bullshit. We're going to work on donations only. Okay. And there's going to be more news on that soon. Okay, final poll. We're slightly over time. I want to find out, now that you've done this webinar, do you feel more confident in taking your shiatsu practice online? Are you much more confident, neutral, or has it made you less confident? Hopefully not. I really hope not. So let's just see, before we go, let's just see what you think of this webinar. Okay, so we've got 50, 60, 70, 81%. Okay, 81% of you are more confident or very confident. So there we are, Dinah.
Good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
That's
a great result. 81% more confident. We love it. Spread the love, spread shiatsu, keep safe, and watch out for news and new energy work. We're supporting the entire world shiatsu community online. All our content will be free soon. We just got to look after our paid members and subscribers before we do that. Okay.
Bye, everybody.
See you online again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Just ending the session. I do want to end the session, and I'm going to. Here we go.
Bye-bye, everyone. Lovely.
Yeah. It's just a bit slow to end this time.
Just can't bear to leave us.
No, I know.
Great. We love you too.
There's so much love coming on the chat. I can't actually get through and turn it off.
Maybe I can.
Have you got an end session button up there, Dinah?
I can't see one. I'm looking. End session, no. Maybe, hang on. Let's see if I can. No.
Look at that. It doesn't want us to it doesn't want to let us go. It's just frozen on it won't let us end the session.
No, I don't know how to. Hello, Cliff.
I tell you what, Dinah, we're going to have to do this another way. Oh yeah, wait a minute. It stopped sharing. Let me see if I can do it again now. End session.
No.